tonight. It was a landmark decision, the first of its kind. Parents found guilty in connection with the actions of their son. In November 2021, Ethan Crumbley shot and killed 4 students here at Oxford High School in Michigan. His parents, Jennifer and James, were sentenced to at least 10 years in prison for failing to stop what the sentencing judge called a, quote, runaway train. Legal experts say these cases could signal a fundamental shift in the way our justice system holds parents accountable, particularly when gun safety is lacking and red flags are ignored. As reporter Heather Graff shows us, this all comes as innocent lives are at stake.
It's incredibly difficult. It's every day.
November 30th, 2021 will forever haunt Steve St. Juliana.
It's not something that we'll ever get away from.
Because on that day, a student at Michigan's Oxford High School took a semi-automatic rifle onto campus and turned Steve's world upside down.
It wasn't until I was in the car driving up to the school, I think that things really started to sink in.
Hours later, Steve would learn the unthinkable. His daughter, Hannah, a freshman at the school, was one of 4 children killed.
Life is just darker with her gone. She was the heart and soul of our family.
The shooter was sentenced to life in prison without parole, but he didn't face a guilty verdict alone.
These convictions confirm repeated acts or lack of acts that could have halted an oncoming runaway train.
His mother and father were convicted of involuntary manslaughter in connection with the shooting. Prosecutors in both trials argued James and Jennifer Crumbley were grossly negligent, failing to secure firearms in their home and ignoring signs of their son's mental health issues.
It's not about punishing the parents for what the shooter did. There were multiple opportunities for them to prevent this from happening. It was repeated opportunities, repeated instances of negligence.
They were high-profile cases because no parents in this country had ever before been held criminally responsible for a mass shooting committed by their child. That fact not lost on Jennifer Crumbley, who spoke at her sentencing.
I understand this is a novel case and punishment expectations are high.
She and James Crumbley were both given 10 to 15 years in prison, the maximum sentence. Although their cases were the first of their kind, they haven't been the last.
Let's go ahead and bring in the defendant, Mr. Colin Gray.
In Georgia, a father faces dozens of charges, including second-degree murder, in connection to a shooting his son is accused of committing at Appalachia High School in September 2024. Prosecutors allege he provided the gun used to murder 2 students and 2 teachers.
I think this is that rare moment where those who are pro-Second Amendment and those who are more restrictive gun rights can agree on this.
Emory law professor John Acevedo says while gun rights in both Georgia and Michigan are fairly well protected, Americans in every corner of the country are fed up with the violence.
It really seems to be a combination of frustration by people that there's not a way to hold more accountability and to kind of stop these incidents from happening, as well as district attorneys looking for ways to discourage them from occurring again in their jurisdiction.
With regard to the Crumbley convictions, there is consensus in the legal community that they've created a new and important legal precedent.
Do you expect to see more prosecutors charging parents in these types of cases?
I do. If you can get a conviction in Georgia, that would give you 2 states, 2 sort of different states.
Josh Horwitz is co-director at the Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence, where through research and advocacy, he and his team are working to reduce gun violence 30% by 2030. He says these prosecutions could help achieve this goal.
We see too many school shooters getting their firearms at home, and I think the community in general are sick of that. And prosecutors specifically understand that they've always had a tool, but now's the time to use it.
Does this signal a fundamental change within our justice system?
I think time will tell. I hope it does.
As such, Acevedo says prosecutors will need to be thoughtful as they consider pursuing charges against parents.
There is the danger of over-policing and over-prosecution that may come with this.
But he adds responsible gun owners should have nothing to worry about.
The negligence in all these cases comes from parents not securing their guns in a proper way. That can be in a safe with a trigger lock by removing the ammunition from the house, keeping it separate if it is in the house.
According to Everytown for Gun Safety, 26 states and D.C. have child access prevention laws, which aim to reduce pediatric firearm injuries. But even in states without such legislation, gun owners could still face legal consequences if a child accesses the weapon and causes harm.
Really, in my heart of hearts, I hope we never see any other prosecution because parents will learn from this.
Back in Michigan, Steve has been a vocal advocate for reform.
It's about trying to ensure that no other families have to go through this. Our children have already been taken from us. It's not about us. It's not for us. We're doing this for everybody else because they just have no idea, no clue.
And he adds he hopes they never do.
People are accepting mass shootings in our schools as normal. And that right there has to change. Enough is enough.
Heather Graff reporting tonight. Colin Gray, the father being charged in connection to the Appalachia High School shooting in Georgia, pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. As for the Michigan school shooter's parents, James Crumbley's attorney declined to comment on this story, and Jennifer Crumbley's attorney did not respond to repeated inquiries. All right, Ron, your side.